communication is good because you can tell other people what you feel inside.
I think communication is important because it helps people learn.
I think communication is important because it helps you get a better relationship with your family and friends.
The Communication Commitment is a simple way to develop a whole school approach to communication based around the needs of your school.
Communication Commitment has given us some parameters, if you like, to work within. Clearly we've got a number of experienced staff in school, but we also need the experts and a way of looking from the outside inside school. It's very easy when you're in your school every day to not see things that are going on, but actually by having some external parameters and some guidance, it then gives us the opportunity to have a look at what's going on inside, identify the areas that we then need to work on.
And it's given everybody an awareness of communication and how important it is. If these children can't speak, if these children don't have the experiences, how can they read, how can they write?
It's not burdensome, we're not doing extra work, it's by shifting our focus.
All senior leaders and all head teachers are out there, and that's why they're doing the job that they're doing, to make a difference for the children that they're with. And by focusing in on communication, we've definitely seen a positive impact, not just on the communication skills, but actually that then falls into reading and writing and other areas of the curriculum.
Communication supports progression and attainment. Communication is now part of the Ofsted framework. Inspectors are now looking for the ability of students to communicate their learning and be able to do that verbally as well as through their written work. The Communication Commitment focuses on 5 priority areas in school: school leadership, workforce development, communication-friendly schools, supporting pupils with speech, language and communication needs, engagement with parents, families or employers. School leaders are incredibly important for what happens in schools, as we all know. With school leaders behind an idea, it really does have that whole school approach and makes that impact on children and young people.
We needed, for any school improvement, school development, it's important to have a kind of strategic overview and a direction for school. And rather than there be little just pockets of best practice in school, we wanted to share that with everybody. And for us as a school, it was a commitment at the starting point with our school development plan that says, right, if we're going to do this, we're doing it together and off we go. And it's about getting buy-in from all the staff.
The commitments within governors, I introduced it to governors. The lead teacher who introduced the commitment to the staff as well also came to governors' meetings to discuss what we were doing, the targets that we'd put in place so that they were aware and they could ask any questions that they had about it too.
Really good teaching practice in the classroom means really good communication, and what we like to see is that teachers encourage collaboration between their pupils. They model what good talk really looks like and encourages that interaction between children and young people, not only for its own sake but also for learning, for making friends, for academic progression and attainment.
I was trying to show them that they are the most important person. You can have a million resources, but if the person isn't interacting with the child properly, then that child is not going to move forward in their communication.
I think as a class teacher, the sort of deciding on your target and then working through it, thinking about how you can achieve it with the other adults in your class as well, with the support assistants that you've got, and then when you get to a certain point, reviewing it. Has it worked? Could it do with a little bit of tweaking?
And also as a teacher, you need to have a good knowledge of language development and how children learn and develop their spoken language.
We'll use programmes offered to us by Speech and Language Therapy Service. We work closely with them to support us because it can be a very specialist aspect of understanding language, so we take on as much help as we can.
A communication-friendly school is one where children are encouraged to communicate, where they feel safe to be able to ask questions, to ask for clarification. The physical environment really needs to support communication, but also opportunities to communicate both with peers and with adults, and also really strong learning interactions with teachers talking in a way that scaffolds and supports children's communication and their learning.
You understand what you're feeling, so if you ask them how to do something in like a literacy lesson, or if something bad was happening at home, that they'd listen and understand, and they'd tell you what to do and how to sort it out.
Well, depending on the age of the children, I just make sure my classroom is very visual. There's lots of prompts around the classroom, but not too cluttered, so that the children can focus in on the language that they need to practice and rehearse.
Yeah, I think the 10-second rule we've used in school, and I know other staff within school, that was their big target, was giving the children that time to think about their ideas.
Children and young people with speech, language and communication needs are very good at hiding their difficulties. They are quite difficult to identify. A focus on communication across the whole school really helps this. It helps you to identify those children that are struggling. And what makes a massive difference for those children and young people is when people understand the nature of their condition.
So we don't just look at reading and writing levels, we're looking at what the children are able to do in speaking and listening. We're then able to put in additional things to support. We've got a number of intervention programmes to support the children. So having that commitment has helped tailor, I guess, the practice in school right to that level where for the children to make progress.
The work with special needs, so much of it is about enabling the children to be able to say something, because until they can say something, they can't write it.
Communication is, for me, is like speaking to people, like to my friend.
Do you like school fairs? Yeah. Who do you like? What do you like doing best?
Doing maths.
You like doing maths? And what else do you like doing? Reading.
Families and employers really value communication. It's important within the family, through school and beyond into employment.
Sometimes when you get to work or something, you have to get interviewed to be able to get jobs. So you need to be able to know some quite big words or complicated words to help explain why you need the job or answer the questions.
When he speaks to us, and when he says things, sometimes when he says things that I don't even expect that he's going to come out with, and he makes me amazed, and we just get really proud on him.
It makes me feel like that I could have a good future with being able to talk.
If you don't communicate, you might not even get a job, you might not even pass a degree, you might not get anything. So communication is good because it helps in lots of different ways.
I'd say go for it. It's really interesting, it's really exciting, it's very supportive. There's lots of things on the website. So even if you're a novice at communication and language development, there are lots of things out there to help you.
I think it's one of those things that what's the worst that could happen? Actually, there isn't a worst that could happen. Anything that's about developing children's ability to communicate in whatever guise has got to be beneficial. And having the external support that's around through the Communication Trust really it's a bit of a no-brainer really in terms of school development. There's a number of quick fixes, which we all like a quick fix, and a number of things that then working together throughout the course of an action plan, you can make some really positive changes in school.